here we are one more time. Surviving these controlled and dramatic times. Juan Toledano, hello Miguel, buenas noches, caballero, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido, un placer tenerte como siempre. David Pa, grande Miguel, saludos, igualmente, bienvenido como siempre tú también, placer teneros. It's always a pleasure having this and being here with you guys. Yeah, it's always great. All right, Lucius, hey, how are you doing? Patrick, greeting from Canada. Greetings, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Is it very cold in Canada now? Where are you in Canada? David Pa, ¿qué pasó con la censura del dibujo a Ucrania? What happened with the censorship of my illustration about Ukraine? Well, nothing really. Nothing. Patrick, good, thank you. Not too cold. It's above freezing for now. Okay, that is good. That's always good. All right, so I will be continuing with our random character that we started or that we started to work last stream. So let me just give a recap of where I'm standing with the character, then I can talk a little bit about my illustration condemning the war in Ukraine and all the drama that it's going on with it. But yeah. All right. Pontus, hey, how are you doing, mister? By the way, just so you know, Michael is coming this weekend. Michael Anderson. All right. Yes, this character. So we left it where we were not sure what he was. Only that he was some sort of somebody that lives in the court of some imperial or royal court. So some kind of, but we don't know exactly what he is. Some kind of ambassador or some kind of seer or just advisor or a minister. But we kind of agreed overall that he had some suspicious look, right? So like he's maybe involved with some sort of conspiracy, perhaps, and that's where we left it. And yeah, I'm not sure yet what he could be. I kind of like or the how's it called, the ambassador or some sort of a minister. That's what I'm leaning towards. But yeah, all right. Pontus. Okay, fantastic. Awesome. Um, yeah, that's a great excuse just to meet. So yes, my illustration about Ukraine. Um, So for those of you that have no idea of what I'm talking about, I think now almost 2 weeks ago, I decided I was feeling not very good with regarding the war in Ukraine. I was feeling extremely stressed because of the relatives and friends that we have there in Ukraine. So I felt that I had to vent that frustration somehow painting. So I painted this illustration, uh, and then I posted it on ArtStation and on social media, and it got quite a lot of attention. Really, I mean, to a degree that I'm not used to. With the things that I normally post, it was really on fire, and I also put some prints for sale with the intention of donating that money for helping Ukraine as a charity. And I started to get some messages from people saying that they wanted to buy the prints, but they could not find it on my print shop on ArtStation. So I looked it up, and yeah, it wasn't there anymore. And then started to look around. Why? What happened? I mean, yeah. And then I discovered that I got an email from ArtStation saying that it was they received um, many reports of abuse, and then they looked it up and they deemed the prints to be inappropriate, to the product to be inappropriate to be sold on ArtStation, so they removed it altogether. So I was very frustrated, very angry about that. So I sent them an email asking more details about it. About those reports. I mean, yeah, more information about it, and asking so they could just put it back. And I was just accusing them of censorship. But in one way, I was thinking like, all right, well, I mean, at the end of the day, selling it's something that it's. I mean, maybe a little bit more. How could I put it? Like, not justifiable, but I could see a little bit more logic behind it if they didn't want to get into any controversy, because at the end of them, it just like making money out of it. But at the same time, I was like, well, still the illustration is there, so it's so even though it's censorship, but it's not going the full range. But to my surprise, the day after I sent them that email, then I got another email saying that, again, my illustration was reported as abuse, and they decided just to take it away from the site altogether because it was once again inappropriate to be shown on ArtStation. And then at that point I could not believe it, because that is just straightforward censorship. And I'm not gonna get into the discussion about if politics should be included in art, if ArtStation is the place to put art about politics, if it is a good image, if it is a bad image, if it's tasteful or distasteful, if it's ugly or if it's beautiful, it doesn't matter. Art shouldn't be censored. Full stop. And especially for a website that claim to be for the arts and humanities and to help artists to display their work. And on top of it, that I'm paying a pro account. So, I mean, I think it's outrageous. I think it's unacceptable, and not for me personally, and the fact that they are removing my image, but just for this by the fact that they are just censoring art. Arctic Art, thanks for the follow. And by the way, since I got so much attention these past days through social media, I'm just putting into alert that I wouldn't be surprised if some trolls jump into the stream. Hopefully not, and I really hope that is not the case. But I mean, after what I have seen these past days or weeks, I wouldn't be surprised, because that was another thing that the level of nastiness and and trolling that I got on the social media with this piece is on an epic level. And to me it's always kind of funny, because I never I mean, the trolling is something that I'm quite proud that I don't care shit about it. So it's always very fun to see their attempts to piss me off. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, going back to the real thing is that it should be unacceptable that they are censoring art. And again, it's you can like it, you can dislike it, you can agree with it, you can disagree, but you shouldn't. I mean, you could criticize it as much as you want, but you shouldn't censor it, and especially the site itself. And yeah, I've heard, and plenty of people have sent me messages and comments saying that, yeah, again, these plenty of arguments against why I shouldn't have done that, and that they are not surprised that it was censored, etc., etc. But I strongly disagree with all those opinions. I even read several comments from people saying that art shouldn't be political, which of course I cannot disagree more than that, right? They are Berserk, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I mean, art, if anything, is political above anything else. I mean, yes. I mean, our station is very much focused on entertainment industry and people displaying work catered for that, but not necessarily. It should be only, and there is nothing nowhere stated in that regard. So yeah, and yes, I mean, anybody that knows anything about art history knows that art is being always used to communicate some political messages or views, right, or ideas. So yeah. Alex, hello. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Patrick, hard to argue that world unity against Putler is controversial. Well, that's, I mean, yes, that this thing has two angles, right? One is the purely part regarding censorship of art, but then is the other question about the moral stance that ArtStation is making by censoring not only me but many other artists, because that's another thing that is even more outraging, and is that my case is not unique. Now I have heard from many other artists that have been posting art condemning the war, and they've been also been censored in different shapes and forms by ArtStation. So Alina, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, so there is this issue about purely talking about censorship of art, but then is the stance of ArtStation just by deciding to censorship art that is clearly condemning the war. So as I explained on social media, I can get maybe some logic from any company that they are deciding to try to escape any controversy, because at the end of the day, what they want is they care about the money. So if they feel that making a public stand about something that's going to make them lose money, that's something that they want to avoid. So there is a logic to it. I'm not judging, just there is a logic to it. Of course, in this case, I would argue that it's a very immoral thing to do, obviously. But okay, but the funny thing is that within that logic, if they would decide to not censor any of these pieces of art, things will be relatively okay. I mean, yeah, people will like or dislike the pictures, but it would not go farther than that. But now, by the very same thing that they are trying to avoid by censoring, now instead of avoiding the controversy, they are just dipping themselves into it, and in the worst possible way, because they are censoring people that are condemning a criminal war. That's what it is. And yeah, so it's, I don't know, I'm shocked, surprised, and equally frustrated and outraged by it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I still haven't got any reply from our station. I have no idea um, what they're gonna do, uh, and this is no over. I'm trying to, well, me and other artists are trying to reach journalists, so trying to make as much noise as possible, because again, they have passed, they have crossed a red line that never should have been crossed, in my humble opinion. Again, something also that I mentioned on my social media posts is that I mean, to begin with, I never thought about asking our station to make a public stance about the war in Ukraine. I mean, I'm completely fine if they want to just not say anything particular. I mean, who am I just to in that regard? But now it's different, because now they are not neutral anymore. They are. That's the thing. They are not neutral anymore. And of course, we could discuss how moral it is looking the other way around with something like that, and especially when we are seeing so many companies just making a public stand about their position on the situation. But that's another story. Yeah, by censoring art that condemns the war, now they are not neutral anymore, and they are helping, in this case, the aggressors of this war to silence the voice of uh, the victims. So yeah, that is very bad in my opinion. Alex, is art not protected under freedom of expression? I don't know. I think it should. Um, but again, that's one of these things that it's I really cannot understand, especially coming from a webpage that claims to be looking after. I mean, like focus on art and humanities. Art. I mean, art. It is what it is. I mean, can be ugly, can be distasteful. It could be offensive. It could be anything. But that's what it is. It's just art. Yeah. I mean, people need to grow a little a thicker skin. I think if they feel offended by a piece of by an illustration, honestly. Mortes, hello Miguel, how are you? Hello, how are you? Welcome. Well, pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Um, Pontus, you should make me a mod on your Twitch channel later, Miguel. Yeah, sure, Pontus, if you are up to it, sure. Alex, Miguel asks for help from the Warhammer community if you get targeted by trolls. You have an army of fans who will come help. Art has been used to criticize politics since the Roman Empire. Well, thanks a lot, but I prefer not to cross over. I mean that's the funny thing is just I just did an illustration just to vent my frustration, and again I think it's not my best, and I think it is actually pretty. It's not that good. I don't like it that much personally. But it is just that, right? So it wasn't my intention to create all this drama, um, and yeah, so I don't know. um, I definitely, I mean, if people want to help complaining to our station, then I think that that would be a good thing. Again, just as a public complaint. But in regards to trolls, I think it's yeah. I don't want to give them any. I mean, they feed on attention, right? So the best thing with trolls is just to ignore them. And even though I just in my Instagram I still reply to trolls because I just fancy some have a little bit of fun with it just for the sake of it. But yeah, it's to give to give some meaning to their lives. But yeah, thanks anyway, Alex. And yeah, I totally agree. Art has, I mean, has been political since the beginning of art history. So I mean, that kind of opinion is from people that are ignorant on the art history. And of course, it's completely, I mean, it's up to everybody if they want to do any political piece or not. That's up to everybody, and to yeah. So everybody should be free, right? But just to argue that it shouldn't be mixed is just not understanding anything. um, Another thing that is quite surprising is the and I was and I mean I can expect a lot of trolling, a lot of nastiness, for example, on Instagram or on Facebook by completely random people. They sometimes they get your image on their feed and they just feel compelled to say something, and yeah, whoever. So but on our station, the level of nastiness that I read on the comment section of my illustration when it was still up by especially Chinese and Russian, I'm guessing, fellow artists is insane. It is insane. And that's one of these things where actually I never engage with any of those comments because, I mean, going back to the fact that our station, it's at the end of the day just a more professional oriented platform, right? So it's like, are you seriously engaging in this type of behavior here? I mean, I don't know. It's very very surprising and very disappointing as well on a human level, really. Because that's one of those things, right? Okay, if you don't like it, then you just don't look at it. Just let it be. And again, I wasn't. I mean, I'm not whining. I didn't give a damn about their opinions, but I'm just like genuinely surprised and shocked uh, by that type of reactions. And yeah, so let's see what happens with the journalist. I mean, the thing is that since I don't have, I mean, I have lost already several days with all this shitty thing, and I cannot afford just losing more time. So I haven't been able to dedicate as much time contacting as many journalists as I would like, because I just don't have the time. But yeah, hopefully I will get that time. Berserk, thank you for supporting Ukrainians, man. Hopefully, we can receive a statement of our station and an apology. Well, that's the very minimum I could do. Uh, so yeah, I don't know what to say, man. It's the bare minimum that I could do, and to be honest, I did it more on a selfish level of feeling so frustrated about the whole thing that I had to vent it somehow, and to yeah. Um, but yeah, uh, I, I'm afraid that our station is not gonna do any public reference to all these unless these go public on some news outlets. Until that doesn't happen, they are gonna just look the other way and trying to ignore the whole situation. Which again, it's I mean the the longer it takes for them to address the situation, the worse it becomes, and worse um, the light they are putting themselves under. Some other people were arguing. I mean, I just when I was looking at this on the very beginning, I discovered that actually I had no idea that they have offices both in Montreal but also in Kazan in Russia. By the way, a fantastically beautiful city. Um, um, that's by the way just like a side note. I got attacked so many times saying that that I hate Russians, and I love Russians. I've been traveling around whole Russia and I love it. I even have a Russian relative. So anyway, so yeah, I discovered that they have offices in Russia as well. So I started to wonder, could this have something to do with it? Um, And then somebody mentioned as well that I had no idea that actually Epic Games, which owns ArtStation, is partially owned by Tencent, the Chinese company conglomerate. So has all of these things anything to do with it? Who knows? You never know. I would be surprised, but at the same time, I mean, in this day and age, you never know, especially when it is so clearly that there are so many. Sadly, this war is not only fought on the front in Ukraine, but also information war and of narratives on the media and on the internet. So this could be another digital front of it, of silencing dissent from the war. Who knows? I have no idea, and I don't claim to know. So, but Berserk, yeah, that would be nice. And to this point, as I mentioned on my social media, they have to do a public apology. Especially considering, just think of it, that I myself am not directly affected. Well, to some degree, because now we have people living at my place from Kiev, so you could say that I'm affected, but more indirectly through the relatives of my family in there. But there are actual fellow artists from Ukraine that post things on ArtStation that they are directly affected by the war. And they are being censored as well. What does it say about the webpage? It's not good. It's not good. So they have a responsibility. So they need to be taken accountable for it. Whoever is responsible, in my humble opinion. Patrick, agreed to wrongs. One, censorship, and second, a moral position on the invasion. Yes, exactly. It's twice as wrong. Yeah, totally agree. Mihai, artists should be free for expressing their opinions. Censorship is just wrong. If you don't like the message an art piece sends, then just ignore it. Yeah, exactly. Or not even ignore it. I think it's totally fine just to criticize a piece of art, right? If you are putting it available to the public, then you are, the, how do you say in English? You have to be prepared to receive critiques of it and be fine by it. Again, nobody is forced to like it, and you shouldn't expect people to like it or be offended if people don't like it or criticize and say that it's shit. Should be fine. So I'm totally fine with that. But again, not being censored. That's the thing. So all the people that have been saying that it's stupid, that is a very silly piece, which in some degree I actually agree how I felt, because is I have seen some other illustration by other artists that are way better displayed than mine. Mine, I feel that is a little bit immature, but yeah, I didn't have the brain capacity to do something more mature. But yeah, anyway, and I completely lost the line of thought there, but yeah, that being criticized for your art is, I think, is to be expected, and that is all fine. Patrick, nonsense is lovely. Well, I don't know. Thank you. But yeah, I have seriously, I have seen some pieces out there that are absolutely brilliant, and yeah, and mine in comparison looks very childish in the way it's communicated somehow. I don't know. But at the same time, I also fine with it because I know what it is. It's just that, yeah, I was stressed, didn't have time, but I just so frustrated, so I just stayed entire day and night doing it. And yeah, so not a very well thought piece. Some aspects of it, at least. I mean, the main message I like is just the way I displayed is maybe a little bit immature, perhaps, but oh well, it is what it is. Lucius, I think a lot of this outrage over your art was recreational. I can't imagine getting offended by an anti-war image. So silly. You know, I mean, I mean, that's the thing with the internet, right? So you're gonna have such a wide variety of people and their rationale. So I think yes, you are right. There's gonna be plenty of people that is like you are saying just for the sake of because they are bored, and everybody has an opinion, of course, and also this type of thing, right? So they don't care to read the post and to understand the context of where this image comes from and what was the intention, etc. So they just see this and they just decide, they know everything, and they feel very strongly with their opinion, and they need to share it. So yeah, but at the same time, I saw a lot of people that they genuinely were outraged by it. Again, that's something to be expected. Not everybody is gonna agree, especially as devising as a war can be. Sadly, even if it's as a clear cut as it is in this case. Aside from all the caveats and things, because of course nothing is just black and white, and all the conflicts in Ukraine is a very complex one, and there is a lot of simplification by some parts, and of course a lot of lies from others. But yeah, still. But one of these things that I cannot get my head around is that if there was an actual or there's an actual intention behind all this um, activity, because also another explanation could be that it's just unintended, because of how things are work on social media, and maybe certain things are automated or etc etc. So still doesn't take away the responsibility, but could be one explanation. But anyway, if there is an active policy with all of this and intentionality to avoid controversy, as I was saying, I cannot get my head around the fact that just by trying to avoid it, they just dive deep into it in such an epic way by doing all of this. They should have just keep quiet. People that liked it would liked it. People that disliked it would disliked it, and that's about it. You wouldn't have gone farther than that. And if one of the fears, and of course now I'm completely speculating, right, and thinking out loud, but if one of the reasons or fears for trying to keep neutral is just to, again, just to avoid controversy, and so the stakeholders, can maximize the revenue of the company, etc etc. If these go further and hopefully it gets public on a wider audience through the work of some journalists, then the hit is going to be big in that sense, at least on reputation. And sometimes these type of things play a role. So yeah, who knows? But so far, so good. There is no trolls. That is fantastic. I noticed that last stream, there were some comments on YouTube by some trolls. But I think it was after the stream, just like looking at the recorded version, so no live. Patrick, did you see Arnie's speech? No, I have not. You mean Arnie Sanders? I'm guessing. Or is it somebody else that I should know about? But if that is the case, no, I have not. No, sorry. Arnie, you mean Conan. For me, he's Conan. Yes, I have. Yes, pretty good. A very good piece of communication, I would say. And that's, I mean, okay, we enter into some territory that perhaps I wanted to avoid, but okay, let's dive into it. I think it is important in a situation like this not to fall into the mistake, as it's so common and understandable, of now starting to blame all Russians for this war. Because it's a very complicated situation, especially for them. And I know for a fact there is plenty of Russians that they are against this, but yeah, they are in a very difficult spot because of what may happen to them. That being said, at the same time, is like, well, but to a certain degree, every single one of us have certain level of responsibility as citizens of our own countries or societies where we live in, when things go that far, right? To allow certain regimes to reach that level by ignorance, by just letting it be until it's too late. And and I feel saddened, but I see so many parallelisms with the Nazi Germany of 1930s, where after the war, lots of people were saying, yeah, but I wasn't a Nazi, or I didn't know what was happening, which certainly that was the case for plenty of Germans. Still, that didn't took away their responsibility as citizens, right? But the thing, as I see it, is that in the 1930s, you still, even though it is not an excuse, but it's a little bit more understandable that people could be manipulated, because the how do you say, the what's the word in English, the monopoly of control of media was much easy to be done in that time than nowadays. So even though it could be more understandable, now they don't have that benefits because, I mean, regardless of how much censorship there could be in Russia, still we have internet. And I know for a fact there are plenty of Russians that still, regardless of how much they see or you try to show them, they still choose to believe it is not true. So it's, yeah. So which speaks a lot, not about the nature of Russians, but the nature of people. And how easy we are to be manipulated in the certain circumstances. Because all these things that is happening in Russia and with the brainwashing through the media is nothing of now. This has been going on for 20 years now. So it's a long process of feeding that type of message of ultranationalism and neo-imperialist Tsarist views of Russia and etc. etc. So Pontus, the Kremlin responded to it directly? Really? I had no idea. I had to check that up. That is brilliant. And I'm just destroying the whole thing. I'm just focusing so much on talking, and I'm Iván, hola Miguel, me encanta tu trabajo. ¿Puedo hablar en español o prefieres en inglés? Un saludo, gracias por compartir tu proceso. Iván, muchas gracias, bienvenido, eres muy amable. Si no te importa, mejor en inglés, porque hay mucha gente que no sabe español. Y entonces, pues, si puedes escribir en inglés, mejor, te lo agradecería mucho y creo que el resto de gente en el chat también. Pero nada, bienvenido. Patrick, yeah, Mr. Arnold, the Terminator. For me, he's Conan before the Terminator. All right, like always, now I'm Daddy Duties. I don't know. I'm not happy with the pose or some parts of the pose. Vadim, thanks for the follow. Sorry that I'm not speaking that much, but I was just a little bit more focused on the painting process. But I know it's more boring. But I'm trying to think like some kind of cane. Like some sort of object that kind of reflects on his status. If he's to be some sort of minister or ambassador. But this pose is very bad. Let's see. Yeah. Let's put this in a more natural way. Yeah, I think this is better. Iván. Perfecto, Miguel. Mi inglés no es muy bueno, pero intentaré hacerlo. What is your process to create the characters? Do you use references for the pose, face, etc.? Well, it depends. It depends a lot. Normally, I use plenty of references, but in this case, I'm just free. How do you say? This time I'm not, and that's why I'm struggling a little bit. Because I started from the very beginning not knowing exactly what I want to do, which is one of the absolute key things. So the most critical aspect is to know exactly what you are what you are aiming for. And now I'm failing at it because I'm still, I'm now I know a little bit more what I'm aiming for, but still I'm paying the mistakes from before of not knowing what I was trying to achieve with this character. So now I need to redo a lot of things so they accommodate better to the vision that I have now for the character, if that makes sense. Pontus, the leg seems a bit short to me. Maybe not now anymore when you shorten the arm. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it is everything. It's a work in progress at the moment. That it could have been perfectly the case. But no, I think now it is quite all right. Uh, I think I'm starting to like where it's heading. Still plenty of things to, I mean, it's super rough and work in progress, of course, and many things that are not working at the moment. Uh, but but it's getting somewhere that I start to see some light at the end of the tunnel. That is heading somewhere that could be interesting. And by the way, going back to the thing with ArtStation, please, if you haven't done it already, please feel free to write them a complaint regarding the censorship. And again, this is not just something that affects me, but plenty of other artists that are being censored. Um, so I think the more the merrier. The more we are, and the more noise we do, the more impact it's gonna do. Um, as you can see, I'm flipping the character all the time. Um, and that is because since I'm at the moment, I'm mainly focusing on the pose and the overall silhouette of the characters. I want to make sure that everything is fine, and there is no errors. Let's see how long it takes for Lord Commander Dante just to complain. Right, this is still not exactly, but it's getting somewhere. And I need to, later on, just to depict this robe as something very luxury. Pontus, by the time you responded and I accelerated here, almost different character. All right. Yeah. I'm slow to to reply to the chat. And by the way, Pontus, like I said on the Discord, great work, man. You have improved so much. I'm impressed. And And yeah, of course, now I almost forgot, but I mean, it's becoming such a classic during the streams. Of course, I have to mention the tutorial of Space Marines. Yes, I'm still working on it. Things are moving forward. Yeah. I had some setbacks with some few things, but yeah, things are moving forward. Um, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's taking me a little bit longer with the first episode because there is a lot of things that I need to do for the first time that I will be reusing on the following episode. So time that I'm spending extra time here at this point in the process, it's something that I will just move ahead on the coming episodes because the work would be already done. And it seems that the first episode is going to be shorter than what I expected. I was guessing that it was going to be around 1 hour, but it's going to be 35 minutes long, almost a half an hour, a little bit more. So we'll see what happens with the other episodes. I think those will be closer to the hour. But yeah, at this point it's a little bit difficult to say. But still, I mean, half an hour tutorial video, it's not bad. It's still a lot of content, a lot of information condensed. That's the thing. Diego, do you charge for portfolio reviews? Well, no, I don't, because I don't do portfolio reviews. I don't. Sadly, I don't have the time to do portfolio reviews. I don't have the time, neither the energy, because it takes. I mean, to do a good portfolio review, it takes some time and energy, and sadly, I don't have the time. It may be something that I might consider for when I activate my Patreon with my my personal project, the Space Pirates project. But I'm still not even sure about it either, because that would be time and energy not spent on the project itself. So yeah, for now I'm afraid that that not. But I'm still considering. But yeah. And yeah, Lucius, I missed your comments that Arnold's Conan performance is perfection. Yes, I agree. Of the first one, the first film, the other ones were a little bit more, nah. But the first film, oh my goodness, I think it's just perfection. I totally agree. Hombre, Franco. Hace rato que no hago YouTube. Qué bueno ver que vos seguís haciendo. Pues sí, hombre, sí. Aquí estoy. Es un ya es una rutina, es una rutina. Y eso, ¿cómo es que ya no haces? Well, just a head up for everybody here. Franco Carlesimo on the chat. He is an amazing, talented sculptor from Argentina. And if you don't know about his work, you are missing an absolute beast of an artist. So I'd go and follow him on social media. If you want to just put Franco, put your stuff here on the chat so people can follow you if they don't know already about your work. Because yes, it is good. And I will just switch to English because plenty of people here don't understand English. Sorry, Spanish. So I hope that it's okay if I continue in English, Franco. But yeah, man, awesome to see you around. How are you doing? It's been ages since Croatia, right? Man, I would love to talk to you and catch up sometime. We've been saying this for a long time, but I really would love to catch up with you and hear how things are going. Pontus, thanks. Yeah, and here I'm stuck redrawing that shoulder pad. Did you notice what chapter the Space Marine belongs to? No, I don't. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, he's an Ukrainian Space Marine. Nice. But yeah, man, the shoulder pads of doom, as I call them. Yeah, they are tricky. I pay some special attention on the tutorial on the shoulder pads in 2 episodes, on the first one and second one, because yeah, they are extremely tricky. And to make things worse, they are like the most iconic part of the Space Marine silhouette, right? So it need to be nailed to do it right, and yeah, it is not easy. Arturo Serrano, hola Miguel, cómo mola ver cómo trabajas, gracias por compartirlo. Arturo, un placer, bienvenido al stream. Muchas gracias. Juan Carlos, I love your designs of the Primarchs of Warhammer 40k. Thank you, much appreciated. But that's quite old now, right? Uh, you know, I mean, that was more of a like an experiment I did. So I wasn't trying to do the perfect depiction of the Primarchs, and many of them. I mean, some of them I like them quite a lot, but some others I'm not that keen on how they ended up. So maybe someday I could do a revision and do another round. Primarch Series 2.0. But thank you. Franco, sorry, in English. Yeah, no worries, man. Totally fine. Just too busy trying to do too much stuff. Yeah, man. That's such is life. Right? It's yeah, all the time busy with stuff. Me too. Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's do that tomorrow. But you know, it's gonna have to be during the sometime during the afternoon, but not evening, because I have a very tight schedule. So now with the little one, yeah, I'm not flexible at all. I'm afraid. Ubuntu is great. I need it. I mean, the thing with what I showed in the tutorial is not like a formula of how it should, you know, but it's more the things to have in consideration and all the easy mistakes to look for, and yeah, some tricks of how to practice basically. But Diego, about your CG course, it's live or is it a series of videos with assignments? How does it work? Okay, so it is a series of pre-recorded lectures of 1 hour long each, and it's during 8 weeks. So you have 8 hours of pre-recorded lecture for each chapter of the course, so to speak. Then there is assignments that you need to do each week, and each week I will give you some feedback for your assignments, and on top of it we will have a Q&A session live. You, me, and the rest of the classmates. And as a matter of fact, today was the finish my this term class. So today I had my last Q&A with the students of this term, which is always sad because time flies by so fast, and it is a delight. But yeah, so yeah, more or less that's how it works. So pre-recorded lectures, then assignments. I give you feedback, and then we have a 1 hour long Q&A session live. And that for each week for 2 months. Yes, Franco, he's a beast. Well, I think I'm getting close to ending the stream. Like always, I need to get up early tomorrow, and with Commander Dante, the sleeping routine it's not the best still. So yeah, I need to get as much opportunity to sleep as possible, because if not, I'm just destroyed. How is it going, by the way, Pontus, with yours, with your newest? Last time you said that you were being lucky. That has remained, or I hope that is the case. Midley, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Seriously, sometimes your names are quite a challenge to say. That combined with the fact that I suck at it, so yeah, it's the perfect storm. yeah, I'm not sure if Lord Commander Dante is making noises or not. Oh yes, yeah. Give me a second, I will be back. All right. Lord Commander Dante was hungry. Okay. Choo. Yep, that is why you have kids when you are young. Yours is 16 now. Wow. Yeah, not me. I'm just beginning. Pontus, our newest, is an angel still. Super lucky. He's calm and happy and laughing all the time. Of course, he will call for us if he doesn't like something, but he's never unreasonable, which is strange for a baby. Nice. Franco, talk to you tomorrow. Cheers. Um, nice, man. Take care. Talk to you tomorrow. Pontus, he doesn't sleep through the nights though and wants to sleep close to mommy. Looking. Yeah, all right. Yes, yes. Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna close the stream. It's quite late. But yeah, looking forward to Friday as well, Pontus. It's been quite a while since we met. All right, guys. Like always, an absolute pleasure. Um, See you next week, same day, same time. And until then, well, paint, draw a lot, have fun, stay safe and sound. And yeah, have a good one. See you next time. Bye bye. And thanks for joining and saying hello.